Yo, y'all ready for this? Yeah.
What's up, Bodybuilding.com listeners? My name is Danielle Bitts, and welcome back to the BBCon podcast. Today, we continue with our Meet the Coach series, where we introduce our newest roster of coaches debuting in the Bodybuilding.com app in 2025. Coach Harry is a certified personal trainer and Bodybuilding.com master coach. Harry pushes the limits in and out of the gym, injecting creative movements into his programming. His tough love and no-nonsense approach challenges you to work hard while having fun in the process. An avid marathon runner, a casual 3:15 in the 2024 New York City Marathon, Harry specializes in training for endurance, hybrid, and body recomp. He believes every goal can be accomplished with a good coach, a consistent program, and the willingness to push past discomfort. Whether you're new to the gym, want to get shredded, or hit the pavement for your first run, Coach Harry's got your back. Harry Vargas, Master Coach, welcome to the BBCom podcast and welcome to Bodybuilding.com.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to jump right in so that you guys can learn a little bit more about Coach Harry. So tell us about what brought you to becoming a coach and the purpose behind that journey.
Yeah, I'll say it was quite the journey. Coming out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of like work. College didn't really seem like it was for me just because I saw like how I was doing in high school. So I was heavily considering the military. My brother was also going to join at the time. And so we just started training together. We did all our paperwork. I literally got every piece of paper that needed to be signed. I got all the vaccines. I did all the pre-boot camp workouts and stuff. And literally the day before our bus was set to leave to boot camp, I called up the guy who was in charge of my paperwork or whatever, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't think this is for me. I'm gonna actually hang back, but I'll let you know if I change my mind in the future." So after calling it quits on the military, I was just hopping from job to job to job. No sense of stability, just because again I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was just trying to live life one day at a time until I found something that stuck. Then the pandemic happened, and like most of the people that went through the pandemic, coming off of the pandemic, I was in a really negative headspace. And my sister was gym hopping, going to all the gyms in New York City, and she found one that really stuck with her. And she was telling, "Oh, why don't you come with me? It'll make you probably feel better, get out of this rut that you seem to find yourself in." And after a very long time of just continually saying, no, that's not for me. I don't really like it. Oh, that sounds boring. I hopped on, and then I was just hooked. I saw the impact that the class had on me mentally. And after that one class, I knew that I wanted to help give that feeling to other people. People who didn't either feel good about themselves or were lost or wanted to make some kind of improvements, whether it was from a mental perspective, improve their mental health, or if it was from a physical perspective, you want to look different so that you can feel good about yourself. I knew automatically that that's something that I wanted to do. So after that class, just started getting into the gym scene via working there. If it wasn't front desk, then I was just helping clean, and then eventually started working on my cert, and then the rest was history.
Thanks for sharing. How would you describe your coaching style?
I would say intense. And I like it to be like that for a certain reason. I feel like there's enough coaches to go around for you to have a certain style at any gym you go to. And I personally feel like that intense style of coaching resonates with why I wanted to become a coach in the first place. And I feel like it helped me when I was in that negative headspace. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with all the other coaching styles. I'm just saying for me in particular, I feel like that's the one that really got me out of that rut. Like going in there, getting uncomfortable, becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I just try to translate that in all my classes.
Yeah, it's that no BS approach. We're here to work. We're here to get it done and at all costs, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think to your point, I think the best coaches are aware enough to understand my coaching style isn't going to be for everybody, but it's going to be for somebody, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think to your point, when we were bringing this group together, we said exactly that, right? Our goal is to find somebody for everybody, but not every single coach is going to be that for everybody. So all of that to say, you do a phenomenal job of bringing that no BS approach to the forefront of your programming and your coaching style.
Thank you.
How do you want people to feel when finishing a workout with you?
Something along the lines of getting a glimpse into what you're actually capable of. So I feel like when you're coming into a class, whether, regardless of where you are on the spectrum of fitness, whether you're on the beginner side of the spectrum or you're on the advanced side of the spectrum, I want you to come into class, and then by the time those 60 minutes are up, I want you to have caught a glimpse of what that part of you that's past the advanced side of the spectrum kind of looks like. Now, are you going to be there for all 60 minutes? No, that's not sustainable. But I definitely want you to leave class being like, damn, I tapped into that version of me that I eventually want to be every single day. And tapping into it for just a glimpse is more than enough to give you hope that you can be that person. And then obviously, I feel like mental fortitude is at the forefront of at least my training style. And with having a strong mind, all the other aspects of fitness just come as a byproduct. So, yeah.
In a way, we want the class, the workout, the one-on-one experience or the group experience to be the hardest part of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because if we can get through that, whether it's in the morning or at night, regardless of time, we can get through that piece.
Yeah.
It sort of makes the rest of the day and the rest of life a lot more tolerable, right?
For sure.
If you kind of go into this 60 minutes and you're on the ground, hands and knees, you're a puddle, and then you go and you have an altercation, you have, a stressful call,
Just brush
it all becomes a little less daunting.
Yeah, no, I could definitely speak from experience. Ever since I started, train, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm saying every single time you're in the gym has to be 10 out of 10 intensity and you're dying, you're on your knees.
Sure.
But you should visit that at least once a week. And by doing so, anytime something in your everyday life, that would usually cause you either anxiety or stress or any kind of other negative emotion, you just find yourself in a position where you can just brush it off a lot more easier than it would have been otherwise.
I agree. So strength is at the core of your teaching principles. Why is strength so important to you?
Yeah, I would say mental strength is definitely at the core of my principles, just because of what I mentioned earlier. A lot of people like to get caught up in I want the six pack, I want the biceps, I want the quads, I want the back, and all of that is cool. I'm not saying that that's there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying the last thing you want is to become a bigger, stronger version of yourself. But in terms of mental strength, you're still the same. I think it'll be very hard to find someone who's mentally strong and not fit. So by fortifying what's in between the ears first, the abs will come later. The quads will come later. The back will come later. It's literally like a domino effect. Once you get that mental fortitude down, everything else will just come.
I love that. What's your favorite movement and why?
I get asked this so much, either by other trainers or by people that come into my class. And I feel like it's not a movement in particular. It's more of a tool. I just really love kettlebells. And the reason I love kettlebells is because it's kind of like, for me, there's nothing better than a good kettlebell complex, because I feel like it's a dance. Like you're going from one movement into the other. Like if you're doing a clean to an overhead press, reverse lunge, down, clean it again, and then onto the other side. It's like a dance, and that's coming from someone who has two left feet. Like I can't actually dance. I'm Hispanic, but unfortunately that dancing gene just skipped right on over me. But yeah, I love me a good kettlebell complex. So anything with a kettlebell, I'm gonna have fun.
There's so much fluidity that goes into a kettlebell flow, and there's so much body control that is required that you really, those who maybe aren't familiar with it, there's such a transferable feeling into stepping off of that corner block or moving out of the way of that car or taking that random step to get out of the way quickly. A lot of that will transfer over into understanding how to control your body. And I feel like I get a lot of that out of kettlebells as well, whether it's a swing and just really having that control and that activation to control the downward portion of it, et cetera. So I get why that's your choice.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to also just work on strength and conditioning at the same time. I mean, you'll definitely get stronger, but your heart rate will also definitely shoot up pretty easily.
Absolutely. Stay on the lookout for some kettlebell workouts with Coach Harry.
For sure.
What's your advice for somebody who's just getting started?
Good question. I feel like you have to have a solid why. If your why isn't solid, you're going to find it really easy to fall off of the train. And by train, I mean, whatever momentum it is you're carrying into the next workout. A lot of people get caught up into like momentary goals. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, let's say somebody's getting ready for a wedding. Whether you're the one getting married or you're just attending a wedding of somebody else, you say, I want to lose a couple pounds because I want to fit into this dress. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the wedding does have a date. And then there's going to be a day where the wedding's over. And so what, did you just only exercise because you wanted to fit into this dress? Now that the wedding's over, it's like, what are you doing now? I feel like unless you have a solid why to hold as your foundation, then you're going to find it really hard to keep going into the gym. So I feel like once you have a solid why, that'll just keep you going into the next session. So whether you want to be a better version of yourself, you want to improve your health for your family, you're going up in age and you feel like you want to start moving around with a little bit more fluidity, solid why.
What about, let's say, a bit more of an advanced individual on their fitness journey? They're hitting a plateau. They can't reach, the 1 rep max that they've been chasing for a little bit now, and they're just not really seeing the performance they want to see. What's your advice for somebody like that?
Yeah, I feel like I could definitely relate to that to a certain extent. I think this is my 3rd week after the marathon. And now looking in hindsight's always 20/20, but looking in hindsight, I could definitely see that right before the marathon approached, I was definitely redlining a little bit. I was a little bit overtrained. Usually when you're hitting a plateau, you're usually doing probably a little too much. I would say take a step back, look at what you're doing, maybe take some time off. Sometimes you just need a reset mentally and physically, give your body a little break, and then jump back on when you're feeling a little bit better.
As you know, we're re-debuting our signature line here at BB.com. What's your favorite signature that you use on the daily?
Creatine. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak highly enough of creatine. I know what my body looked like before I was taking creatine and then post taking creatine, and it's black and white. So yeah, always carrying creatine with me literally in my gym bag, just in case I can't afford to take it at home or on the road. I always have it with me.
Coach Harry says, Get your creatine, everybody.
Yeah.
How do you fuel your day? Tell us about your nutrition plan.
Yeah, so I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not as consistent with my meal prepping as I should be. I fortunately live with somebody who's a massive meal prepper, so I just hop off of, I steal from her meals every now and then. I am burning anywhere around from 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. So I have the fortune to be able to eat as much as I want just because I need that fuel. I'm running 5 days a week. I'm lifting 4 days a week on top of that. I also just naturally have a very fast metabolism, so I can afford to just eat as much as I want. I have a massive sweet tooth, so I'm not going to lie and say that my diet is 100% healthy. I like to enjoy myself, so I partake in your casual sweet every now and then. But for the most part, shout outs to Coach Yaya for holding it down in the kitchen because I'm definitely just stealing from her meals most of the time.
Well, my takeaway here, everybody, is like you can still have abs and have the sweets.
Yeah, for sure.
Harry, what does recovery look like for you?
So if I'm not in the sauna, I have a pair of Normatec boots that I'm using all the time. And if I'm not doing sauna or Normatec boots, I'm literally just giving myself a really deep tissue massage, mostly in the legs because of how much I run. And on top of the running, I have those lower body workouts to supplement my running. So most of my soreness and recovery does come from my legs. So either it's some CBD oil or some just regular cream, just really get in there in the calves and quads for the most part.
Nice. All right. You ready for your rapid fire Q&A?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's do it. Number 1, upper body or lower body?
Lower.
Push or pull?
Push.
Deadlift or squat?
Squat.
Biceps or triceps?
Biceps.
Morning or night workout?
Oh, that's really hard, but morning.
Favorite book?
The Alchemist.
Favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food? Probably Greek.
Everybody's stumbling on this one. We all love food here. It's hard to choose.
Yeah, it's hard to choose.
Favorite music?
Favorite music? Oh man, that's so hard. I'm gonna just say rock in general. There's so many subgenres. I'm not gonna get into which one's better than the other, but just rock.
We'll allow the broadness. What one word to describe you?
I'm pretty quiet for the most part. Just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I don't have much to say. I actually have a lot to say. It's why I'm quiet, just because I get overwhelmed with I'm trying to funnel all these words into trying to string them into a sentence. But quiet.
Quiet and disciplined. I think that's a big one for you.
Yeah, I'll
too.
take it.
One word to describe your workouts.
Empowering.
Love that.
Yeah.
Harry, thanks so much for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome to have you on and for you to connect with our users. And we're so excited to work out with you on the Bodybuilding.com app.
Yeah, I can't wait to work out with you guys.
Stay tuned as we gear up to launch the Bodybuilding.com app, where you can work out with our coaches in 2025.
Yeah.